That's what I wanted. That's the money shot there. Hey, what's up everybody? So Royce from Pedal Metal. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be part 10 of the massive build of the 1/8 scale Porsche 917K. And here's where I'm at so far. I started working on the tires and rims. And this one you had seen originally in the very first intro video. And I have gone back and started working on some of the other ones, and I could show you guys what I've been doing with them. These two are essentially done, and I'm liking the results so far. I don't want to over weather them, but I do want them to look in race used condition. So that's where we're at with that. And I had a few people ask me about videoing as I'm working instead of just doing the walk, kind of like instead of the post production, I guess you want to say. And I can go through how I was doing, what I was doing here with these wheels and tires, and maybe it can help somebody else in doing it on the cheap. I guess you could do it either way, but I will show both ways how you could do this really inexpensively. And I can show you what I was doing to make them look pretty accurate. Now, I did get a hold of 2 issues from eBay of Model Hero Factory, the 917. There's 2 different magazine issues from MFH. The other one is laying over here and has the Daytona race on the cover. Both of these I highly recommend. Just those two issues alone are just amazing for reference photos. So one thing I'd noticed is the valve stems appear to be brass. So I went back to the ones that were already press fitted in. When you get the kit, they're silver and they don't look that bad. And I just taped off on the edge of the rim and painted that. Well, I think I have like a goldish brass color. I painted that, and just doing that on these 2 here alone looks pretty convincing. The stems probably should be cut back a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that. So here's one that's not worked on at all. Here's one I started working on, and here's one that's basically completed, and another one that's basically completed. Heard the mounting of these back tires are pretty difficult, so maybe I'll do a video on that when we come to it. But let me mount my camera up high and show you also what I started doing. Here's a totally virgin tire, so to speak, and then one that I started working on back here. So all I was using was a Scotch-Brite pad and some rough sandpaper, and you can do the tread and give it a little bit more realistic look to the tires. That one I started as well. I think that one might be actually done. All right, so we'll start with one that's I only painted this ring in there, the wear spot from the large nut. I looked at reference photos and they all had that. Essentially, you wouldn't have to do that because it's going to be covered with the press fit nut that's supplied with the kit. So you really wouldn't have to do that. I'm just weird, I guess. Try to get these in everything in the shot. What we could do here is we start on this one. I added a little piece of tape there just to protect the sides as I'm working here on getting the stem painted. That's that. Some of you might recognize this brush. I used to use this on all my Hot Wheels videos from I don't know how long ago, over 10 years ago. So it's still kicking. So we'll pull that tape off and we'll move the tape over to here. Let me actually flip the tape around. This brush is busted off on the end, but I don't like the I always liked this brush so much. I don't even know who made this one, and I still have it and never got rid of it. Just one of my favorite brushes. The other thing is, note to self, go easy with the iced tea if you're going to be doing something like this, because you'll get the shakes like I do sometimes. Pretty common. All right, so we'll get this out of the way, the paint, so I don't spill it. Next up, what I was doing was just a little bit of wear and tear, and we will use, let's see, I think I'll use the flat aluminum LP38. Now, I don't want to get carried away with this. I just want to do a few little scrapes. And the rub marks from mounting and dismounting the tires. Every once in a while, I'll go to my thinner and just add a little bit of thinner and hit that, add some thinner, and then if it's something you don't like, you can get rid of it, or if it's too highlighted too much, you could always just go back and take your finger or a Q-tip or something and get some of it off. Just want some rub marks, some usage, some wear and tear. But it's your kit. You can do what you want with it. Miss Chester barks in the background. I also have some gunmetal LP19, and I'll throw some of that on as well. Do a quick mix. Some of you may hate what I'm doing, and that's fine. I'm not out to please anybody. I think this is very therapeutic, and I think we've all go through grief or other events in your life, and a lot of times if you're feeling down and out, or I don't know what you want to say, but sometimes it's working on models like this and doing attention to detail items, I think is really therapeutic. I feel anyway that get your mind off of things that might not be going the way you would like them to go in your life, and it keeps you occupied, I guess, is the what I want to say. Anyway, so that's looking pretty good in my opinion. I like it, and like I said, it's up to you what you want to do. Let me push this stuff off to the side here so I don't spill it. All right, so what I've been doing to try to get the brake dust look that I wanted to achieve, and just the very metallic overall look, is as simple as some shredded, I don't know where it is right now, my lumber pencil here. I just shaved off some of that, and it's really nice to use that to rub in. And I'll show you here. This is if you don't have, the other thing I have that works really nice is this old, I've had this probably almost 20 years, this Tamiya weathering kit. It's just like, reminds of a makeup kit. The one called Soot is really nice too. And I did try that, and that works really well. But I like the look that this is giving here with, I wish we can just do it on here. Paint should be dry by now. I really like the results I was getting with this. Let me use the dipper thing that came with the Tamiya kit. I love the results that I'm getting with rubbing the lead powder in. I don't know if you'd want to call that, would it be graphite powder? I guess it is, essentially. It really gives a great look. Sorry if I was off camera there. But I love that look. It looks even better in person than it does probably on video, but it looks really cool. I'm excited to see how it's going to look on the car then. I do really like the flat black that they painted the rims in though, prior, because there's like stock there. But here, I'll show you. Let's just do this on this side. It might be really noticeable when you put some of the pencil shavings in there. The powder looks great. And then on the edge, the way the light reflects off the edge, it really looks like a real rim that's been used. But like I said, you can do what you want with your kit. If you want to keep it looking showroom stock, that's up to you. All right, next up, I'm going to show you how I was doing the tires. I tried to mount them. I wanted to mount them on a baseball bat or something like that and spin it. Somehow figure out a way to spin it to be easier. I do have a small belt sander thing, but the belts are all rotten right now, and I didn't order new ones off Amazon. So I just used a Scotch-Brite pad. I don't even know what flavor this is here. I don't know what this is. What if it's like kind of like 70 grit or what? But I just hit them with the Scotch-Brite and took my time and just went as it makes a big mess on my brand new poster board I just put down. And for the yellow markings, get this out of the way. For the yellow markings, I just used Tamiya LP8, And then I mixed a little bit of the black wash with that, and seems to be working out really well. This was my test subject on the back side. It's a good place to do your tests for whatever you want to write, or try different washes on the white, which actually you could probably, I mean, you could always scratch some of that, wear some of that off too if you don't like the bright white logo. I just wanted it kind of toned down, but this one's almost too aggressive, this pad. But you could easily do that, and that actually doesn't look too bad. Like I said, the reference photos are great for looking at and getting an idea. I'll show you what I'm working on for the the taped lead weights then as well. So there's another page here I marked off, if I can find it, right here. Page 67 has a great shot here of, it seems like a lot of them, I don't know what the X represented, but it seems like they put that near the valve stem on a lot of the tires on the pictures I saw. And they would put these two slashes here. I'm not sure if that was just to make sure that the rim was staying put because of, you know, torque, or what, if they would do that to check to see if the tires are sliding around on the rim, or what the deal was. I've seen check marks. I've seen JWA and JW written on the side for John Wire Automotive. And obviously you have left rear or left front, you know, with the writings here in crayon, some kind of a crayon, I guess. But this photography by Joe Honda is really, really helpful. And of course, like I had stated in previous videos, it's extremely rare to find any pictures of drilled rotors on these cars. There's a JW here, but it's really, really small. And by the way, here is a good shot of the car I'm working on, and it does have the green screen in the front like this IXO kit comes with. So I always wondered about that though. Why was it green like that? Was that just for identification reasons? I mean, which is weird to me, because you obviously have this whole swoop of orange identifies that particular car. You had 3 different variants of livery for the Golf John Wire team. So I'm not sure what did the green stand for. I really don't know. Was that a thing for good luck? I always wondered what the deal was with that. So I don't know. Interesting though. But again, we can see dozens of photos in here where there are clearly no drilled rotors, but I'm just going to use the drilled rotors that came with the kit, just because I'm sure it's going to look really cool, but it's not exactly accurate in my opinion. But we could try and see how the black from Tamiya, their powder mix here, I don't know how good that's going to be. It's probably not going to stay on very well. Like, it's kind of fun though to experiment though with different items though, to see. It tones it down, but it doesn't really, it's not grabbing like on the edges, so it looks weird. It really looks, probably can't see that on video, but leaves a bright white edge. Like, it doesn't really want to, I don't think that's really, it's not exactly working very well. The other wash that works really well, I picked up off of, I think this was off of Amazon, the Vallejo, for dark vehicles. It's basically black, 76-518. And I think this is water-based. They don't even tell you anywhere. It does say acrylic, I think. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Here it does say water-based acrylic. Okay. I wasn't sure. It's kind of smelled like acrylic paints. I do like this so far, and it doesn't, I like the little dropper tip too. So I was putting just a little bit of that on a business card here. Just need one little, oop, that was almost too much. One little drop, and it goes a long way. Just a little bit of that. I don't know, like, helps to tone it down. Like, you can go back over it a bunch of times. You can do whatever you want with it, really, and it's pretty forgiving. It seems like, I don't know what process they use to on these tires, but it does seem to be pretty forgiving. But it definitely works to kind of tone it down a substantial amount. Apparently there's squirrels outside. So the more you do that, you can build up on it too, but that will dry. This slick area on the outside usually will dry, that you can't really notice it, but that looks pretty good compared to stock. So what would you choose? Personally, I like it where it's toned down, but a lot of people might want to just build it right out of the box as is, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, which this is stock. There's the big difference in sheen from the one that's I worked on the left, and this one here obviously is unmolested for the most part. So I got to do some sanding on that. I did try my little belt sander on a stick thing, and it worked pretty well, but the main problem is if you're not paying attention, you can hit it in some areas. I'll put some flat spots. I might be able to find a spot where I wasn't really paying attention, maybe as best as I should have been, and it kind of ground down too much. I can't really find a good example. Well, maybe right in there, but anyway. But I definitely find working all this has been really relaxing. I have definitely missed doing models. I have not done model kits in probably over 15 years. So it's been really, really enjoyable. But you could do that. Just throw some wash on and let it dry. And if you don't like it, you can wipe it back off. That's the nice thing with this stuff, that a lot of these formulas you can take back off. I did go over the yellow here. You can see earlier, right before I went on camera. I think if I just, a little bit of wiping with my finger, you can highlight it and it'll come back. It'll come right off. So something like this, if you think you're done working on it, I would probably hit the whole thing with like a flat clear. But I think for the most part, if people aren't going to be noaching it, which I don't know, is that a Pennsylvania Dutch word? Is that used anywhere else? Noaching means messing with it or touching it, as I grew up with a lot of Dutchified words used here in Pennsylvania. But if you're not going to be noaching at it, I would say that you probably wouldn't have to hit it with a clear, but it probably would be recommended. I didn't get very far, by the way, with the brake lines on the car, the frame. I'm still working on that. We could probably tone down a little bit of the, if you want to tone down some of the brass. But I really like the look of the graphite powder in there on this black. Looks phenomenal. And just a little bit of scratches and wear and tear, I think, goes a long way. And I think it really gives a lot more visual interest, so to speak. I mean, you look here, we got, to compare it, we have totally two of them. Well, this one, I should say, this one not, been worked on all except for the stem. But it looks kind of boring, in my opinion, to the one on the right-hand side. So hopefully it helps you guys out. Like I said, the yellow lettering you can do. I did try. I have a crayon, not a crayon, but I have a colored pencil here. And if you're wondering, I did try that, and it kind of works, sort of. Like, you could do that and then clear over top. Which one was this? LR. You could do that and then probably put a clear coat over it, but it kind of gets crummy, sort of. I don't know what the word is for it. It's kind of repelling the sidewall, whatever this material is that they used for this. It doesn't really want to. Maybe if I scuffed it up a little bit. Where's my scuff pad? I think it fell. Like if we scuffed an area first, maybe. Maybe it'll stick to it better. Push these guys out of the way. Nah, not really. It still kind of repels it for whatever reason. It doesn't really. I mean, you could probably get away with that, but I don't know. It's not doing anything for me. Just take it off. Anyway, I did so, just in case you guys were wondering, I did try that. Maybe there's a better way, but it comes right off. If you don't like what you did, it just rubs right off. But I think just using, I like using the lacquer paints because I just feel like, I know it's doesn't make any sense for me to say this, but to me, I feel like I have more control with the lacquer paints than I do a lot of the acrylics or any of the water-based paints, I guess, or whatever. I do like that Vallejo wash, though. That I like because some of the other washes I have, like the Tamiya ones, and there was another brand I had, I forget the name of it, but they can be deadly. I mean, they're like they feel very permanent, some of them, if you're not very comfortable with putting it on something. At least with that Vallejo wash, you can pretty much, like I said, I did it here. You can pretty much just go over it with your finger and it'll come off, or lick your finger and it'll come right off. But I will try to get all these done so I can show you guys. Hopefully you like that. And have it all over my fingers. But I tell you what, I think it looks awesome, though. It really does look cool. Just going over it like that. Look at that. That's those highlights. Awesome. And a Q-tip might be a little bit better, but get these out of the way. Especially to get in some of the nooks and crannies. But on the face of the rim, it just completely changes the whole attitude of the wheel, in my opinion. Obviously, this is not as rough looking as my reference photo there. The one with the USA, it has the red, white, and blue dots, which was also, I guess, to keep the wheels separated and whatever. That wheel looks really rough. I mean, let's look at it one more time. It looks extremely rough. That's seen better days. Oh, I wanted to talk about my plan for the wheel weights. Let's get into that right now. Let me get this. All right, so what I'm thinking here is I took a piece of the, wherever it is, masking tape from Tamiya's masking tape I've had forever, but it still seems to be working great. I don't know what size this one is. Close to 1/2 inch wide, maybe. But I don't know what it is in millimeters. Anyway, it's yellow, and I had laid it out on top of the instruction booklet, and I painted it silver and put a new blade in my X-Acto, and also cut out some cardstock that happens to actually be gray already, this GoPro card. So I just cut some lines out on there, and I'm gonna see how this could work for mimicking wheel weights. Feels like it's starting to lose its stickiness, though, from being transferred. I wanted it to look like duct tape, but more to scale duct tape. I don't know why I'm shaky all of a sudden. I was talking about iced tea, and maybe that's what's going on. Oh, there it's starting to take shape. Oh, that looks really good. Oh, that looks freaking awesome. Oh, that's what I wanted. It seems to be sticking really well, too. And I wasn't sure if that paint would come off. I think it was just LP11 Tamiya silver that I painted this little strip. It's at the bottom of the screen. Hopefully it's on camera. Man, that looks awesome. That's what I wanted. That's the money shot there. That completes the look, in my opinion. Looks awesome. But anyway, so it's as simple as that. And we could do one on the back here. Kind of burnish it down here with my good old trusty beat up brush. The only problem is now it's not sticking on the outer edge. I know what you're thinking. This is a little ridiculous, but I really wanted to achieve some realism to this build as I do it with hopefully not spending too much more money on additional accoutrements or whatever else. I did buy the braided Tamiya lines and a few other little things, but I'm hoping to be able to pull this off and not, just almost right out of the box, basically building the kit or using some things around the house that I already have without having to buy a bunch of stuff. And I think that's what's fun, to talk to other people who might be in the same boat that you don't, you kind of, I think there's going to be three groups of people, honestly, that are going to be building that kit. And in my opinion, there's going to be the group of who are going to be enjoying it, who might have got it for Christmas or whatever, who are going to be enjoying it right out of the box build. I think that's going to be a high majority of the people who buy that kit, or the Pocker kit, or any of the kits similar to that. There's a bunch of other companies too, producing one kits. And anyway, that's a whole nother story. But and then there's the second segment of people, in my opinion, are going to be the ones who do a little bit of detailing. I think, like maybe something like this, like, just want to soup it up a little bit, so to speak. And then the third tier, in my opinion, is going to be people kind of like myself, maybe are going to be a little more anal with stuff, and like a little more masochistic, I think, with dealing with some of the things to get things right. But I think whichever way you choose is up to you, and for you only to decide. But hopefully you guys like that. I think that gives a good down to scale look of duct tape without being thick and textured, as if you took real duct tape and cut it and tried to use it for this. It's just not gonna work very well. As you can see here, there is some actually in that picture there at the top of the rim right there. But I have seen plenty of photos that clearly shows duct tape on the rims. So there's that same wheel. This is actually the same wheel, but a different shot. So there we can see that it is on the Longtail from 71. All right, so hopefully you guys like that. I am sorry that it took me quite a while to get a video out. we had 5 inches of snow here where I'm at, and that kind of threw me off a little bit, having to deal with that and some other things with my kid being off of school and a 2-hour delay pretty much the whole entire week, besides 2 other days off. And anyway, threw me off a little bit here. So I'm going to try to finish up the wheels and tires, and we'll get them together. Hopefully you guys like that. And I always am, well, I welcome any kind of feedback, criticism, comments, opinions, whatever you want to say. At the bottom of the screen is great for everybody. It gets a line of dialogue produced, and it's really fun. I love hearing from everybody. I'm glad you guys are liking the series, which is really cool. And until next time, if you're not a subscriber, please consider it. It's free, and you can't beat free. And hit the bell for notifications. And then until next time, I will see you guys later. That was a really long, exaggerated outro. All right, I will try to wrap these up and then be able to show them off maybe the next time, or put a picture on Instagram. Thanks, everybody, and talk to you soon. All right, bye now.